Well, Andy, it's great to have you back after 340 days away. Not that we've been counting or anything, but your decision to play here, the final one was made just half an hour before the draw. What clinched that decision for you?
Well, we kind of decided with my team the day beforehand, but just wanted to see how I felt the next morning when I woke up. So I played like practice sets, like back-to-back days, and just kind of wanted to be sure that I didn't wake up the next morning and feel bad, basically. And then I had another practice scheduled just after the draw, so got checked over by my team in the morning, and was feeling pretty good, and that was it.
Five-time champion here, the scene of your first ever tour level victory. How significant is it for you that it should be on this grass that you make your comeback?
Yeah, well, it's obviously nice. I was hoping that I was going to be able to play a bit sooner. I was planning on playing in Holland last week, but it just came a little bit too soon. But obviously nice for me to play my first match back in 11 months here. Obviously, love it here. Great memories, obviously, from winning the tournament and right back to when I was 18 as well. Seems like a long time ago, but yeah, nice to be back here.
At the start of the year, before you had the hip surgery, you put up a very powerful, thoughtful post on Instagram about how difficult it's been for you to be away from the sport and how you didn't realise how much you loved the sport until this period. How has your view of the sport changed and your relationship with it?
Yeah, I think obviously when things are going really, really well, I guess so. It was, I think 2016. I'd had a really good year, and you kind of expect that to just continue and keep going. There's lots of pressure at that time as well, and the expectations are very high. But the expectations that you have of yourself are also, very high too. When you've been away from the sport for 11 months and you realise that it isn't. Like in 2016, I thought that winning Grand Slams and being number one was the most important thing in my tennis career, whereas now I don't see that. I want that to still be the case. Obviously, I love to win Grand Slams and love to get to number one in the world. All tennis players would, but I just want to play tennis. Like, I love playing tennis. I've really, really missed it a lot. I've missed competing. And that's the most important thing, like getting back to doing what I love doing. It's not, sport is about winning and losing, obviously, but it's not just about that. There's more to it. Like, this has been my life since I was, pretty young. I made the decision to play tennis professionally when I was 15 years old. So it's been 15, 16 years of my life, and I've not been able to do that for, play tennis for a year now. So it's been tough, but you look at things a little bit differently, I think, as you get older and go through times like that. So I'm hoping that will help me through the comeback.
I don't want to dwell on the negative for too long, but obviously you said it there and in the post as well. You hinted at how tough it's been mentally as well as physically. How low have the lows been? Are there any particular moments you can recall feeling particularly sad and desperate about it all?
Yeah, I think like that time, like when I was over in Australia, around the time when I posted that on Instagram, because it'd been 6 months at that stage where I hadn't played. I'd done lots of rehab. I'd been trying to avoid surgery. I'd been doing what had been recommended by my team and the doctors, and I hadn't got to a point where I was able to compete, and I was obviously really down at that stage. And around that period, there's lots of things that are written about you and said about you, and you don't always have the opportunity to respond to that. And that's also like, I know we're very lucky, like, to be tennis players, very fortunate that we get to do this like as our job. But also, like I said, this is like, it's a big part of my life. So when you're not able to do that, it is really difficult. You can be very down, and it's hurtful when you read negative things about you as well. So at that period, I was pretty low. But then after I had the surgery and decided to have the surgery, it was all about let's get back on the court. Let's do the rehab. Let's do whatever it takes to get back out there and train hard. Kept myself in shape the whole time. I had like a week's break after I got back from Australia from the surgery. Went on holiday for a week, but pretty much since then it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of training, a lot of long, pretty boring days of rehab to get to this stage.
How much have you been following the sport? Have you been desperately watching most matches, or has it been painful for you to watch it too much?
At the beginning I watched a lot, and then I didn't really. Like during the French Open, for example, I saw bits and pieces, but I didn't sit down and watch like loads of tennis, which normally I would have done. But I've also, during those tournaments, not like I've just been sitting at home. Like I've been training and rehabbing and spending lots of time doing that stuff as well. So certainly at the beginning, I was watching a lot of tennis and really missing it when I was less active. Then as I started to progress, like with the rehab and stuff, I've kind of, I guess maybe been a bit more selfish and just kind of concentrated on myself and trying to get myself better rather than following the sport that much.
In the last year, we've seen 2 slams for Federer, 2 for Nadal. Is it kind of comforting to you to see 2 guys over 30 who have been through, obviously particularly Nadal, their fair share of injury woes, still dominating the sport?
Yeah, I think that's obviously nice. A lot of the the older players recently have been doing better, and I think a lot of it is down to the level as well. Like they're 2 of the best players of all time, so providing they are healthy, they're going to be able to compete and win the biggest competitions, and that's something that obviously over the last year, Novak has been injured, Stan was injured, myself was injured. You look at someone like Del Potro as well, who's been through lots of different issues and is back now pretty much at the top of the game, competing for the biggest events. So there's a lot of sort of case studies around just now that give you hope and optimism. And like I said, I don't know if this week I'm going to be playing well. I don't know if it will be in like 3 or 4 weeks' time, but maybe in 3-4 months, when I've had a bit more sort of matches under my belt and a bit more training time, that hopefully I'll be able to get back to that level again.
You've become very accustomed to playing under a huge deal of pressure, I guess internal and external. None of that now. Is there something a little bit liberating about that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when I get on the court, I'll know. I still think I'll feel very nervous when I get back out there again, just because when you get out there, you want to perform and you want to play well. In terms of my expectations, like they are extremely low. I'm not expecting to win against Kyrgios. I don't think it'd be right to think that way after such a long time out. But yeah, obviously I want to be competitive. I don't just want to go out there and sort of roll over and play badly. Like I want to try and play well and feel good on the court, but my expectations are pretty low.
And just finally, Andy, 3 Grand Slam titles, world #1 and knighthood, 2 Olympic gold medals, Davis Cup. What unfinished business do you feel you still have in this sport?
I don't know if it's so much about a result. I think kind of getting back and sort of after such a long time out, like I guess proving to myself that I can still still perform at this level. I've said quite openly, like I'm quite motivated to play, to have my daughters come along and watch. I would really like that, so at least before I stop, that maybe they would have an understanding of what it is that I did. So yeah, that's really it. I mean, it's not about winning major competitions. I would love to do that, and I still hope that that's the case, and I'll work extremely hard to try and do that, but it's not the most important thing.
Well, Andy, welcome back and best
Thanks.
of luck.